For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. During the Atlanta Falcons game this past Sunday, rapper T.I., his wife Tiny, and their son King got into it, which would end in things getting physical, with T.I. putting his hands on his son. The altercation was caught on Instagram Live and seemingly started from an argument about whether or not King had a privileged life. Throughout the video, King can be heard saying that he wanted to be outside instead of living in a gated community. What seemed like a playful back and forth at first quickly turned serious. DJ Academics would post the full encounter on his Twitter with the caption, "The full video of T.I.'s son King speaking on how he get up in the hood and how he stood on business. T.I. and his mom insist he grew up in a gated community and sucked his pacifier till 12 years old."
Have you ever woke up with a roach on your face?
Here. No, that's not the goal.
All right, then. So there it goes.
Or in your ear. Y'all want to go to the bando and man my neighborhood? Do y'all want to go to the bando? To make him look better, he said he know not true. Silver spoon, I ain't never ate with that day a day in my life. I don't want to be in these gates. I want to be outside in the neighborhood. That's why I want to be over there. I used to have to come to my grandma's house because I'm getting in the fight.
You cried like a baby to go to your grandma's house.
Every day. I'm going to tell you the reason why he wanted to be over there. Y'all ready? He was such pacifier. He was 12 years old. He didn't do that in the house.
They trying to say I was over there trying to suck a passy, but they ain't going to tell you everything like that. They trying to hide it. He capping.
Hey.
He know I stand on business. He know that.
Sir.
Ain't no nigga ever pulled my car ever in life. You want to hide it for the world, I'm going to put it out there for them to see. You ain't had me put up nowhere. You ain't had me behind the mansion. I was outside doing what I wanted to do. Get mad because we say the South ain't the suburbs. Then he want to talk about some other shit. No, I'm being real. I know you capping. I know you. I know you. I know you though. I know you
Ain't
though.
no mystery about here.
I know you though. I know you though. I know you. What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all doing that to me? Y'all know me. You know I stand on business. Why you letting him play with me like that? Why you letting him play with me like that? No, ain't no joking.
You are embarrassing yourself.
Get off me.
You are embarrassing yourself.
Man, get off me.
Man, what is you talking
Man, get off me.
Well, you can't do nothing with me. Ain't shit you can do with me.
The clip Academics shared would go on to receive nearly 18 million views along with a variety of comments. One user would say, "I never understood why privileged boys love to act like they from the trenches, like that's a flex." Now, TMZ recently caught up with DL Hughley and asked him what his thoughts were on the situation. Hughley's opinion didn't differ much from the common consensus. Let's take a look at this clip.
And the thing about it is, I've known T.I. and Tiny for a long time, and I watch how hard they work. I watch how hard they value their family. And to have somebody that you work so hard and sacrifice for to shit all over your memory and your accomplishment for clicks is insulting. We actually grew up in the circumstances they romanticize about it. If it was that great, it was the inspiration for T.I. getting out of there and Tiny getting out of there. But you don't want your children to grow up in the same stuff. No parent would want their children to have it as hard as they did. When we grew up, we were poor, but the one thing you could do, what you couldn't do, is tell a black woman that her kids were dirty or they weren't taken care of. And that's exactly what he's doing now. He's insulting the effort they put into raising him. Just for clicks, for what? You're famous, you're in that box, shitting all over his memory because he's famous. And you're doing it for what? So you can be famous.
Now, Hughley wasn't the only notable figure to offer his own opinion, as Charleston White also reacted to the exchange between the father and son. On Monday, White shared a clip to social media where he said,
"I told T.I. God damn it, I told T.I. he should have kicked that boy ass when last year. If T.I. would have kicked that boy ass last year, that boy wouldn't have had to jack him up today. Yeah, that boy showing out at the Falcons game, embarrassing the family. This is the the king, little ugly ass. Oh, that boy got a big mouth on him. And he talk loud with them big old red, yellow lips. Yeah, he fucking with the Atlanta Falcons up there disrespecting them people, hollering about he standing on business. Boy, if you don't sit your look, you bruise too easy to stand on business. Yeah, that little yellow motherfucker bruise too easy to stand on. Man, nigga, everywhere he get touched, it turn red, purple, and blue. Man, please, that nigga, he can't stand on business that yellow. Hell no. Now y'all of a sudden, boy, you disrespecting Tippy. You done got so, well, you disrespecting Tiny and Tippy. Shit, nigga, please. I'll cut your ass out the wheel. No, I wouldn't. I'll leave your ass in the wheel. You want to dethrone the king? Yeah. Boy, keep off saying, I'm talking about put you in all kind of finger, four headlock. Make you say, Daddy, I quit, Daddy. Say it louder, nigga, in front of walking back out to the field. Yeah, he gonna kick you in your motherfucking ass.
Now, this wasn't the only time White had something to say about the two. The very next day, White followed up that video with another telling fans that King has reached out and threatened White for not minding his own business. With this new video, that's the last thing Charleston did. Let's take a look at his latest comments.
I've just been threatened by Lil King. Yeah, Lil King told me I better stay out of him and their family business or else he gonna stand on business. And I'm sitting here thinking, why this little yellow motherfucker keep making threats toward me? He ready to go to jail. Then I think to myself, that boy ain't ready to go to jail. That boy sucked a pacifier till he was 12 years old. That's why his teeth so big. Yeah, that's why them teeth big. That's why you don't let them kids suck their thumb. And you don't let them put that pacifier in their goddamn, I'm sorry, in their mouth, because it go buck their teeth out like that boy. That's why the boy mouth so goddamn big. I've been trying to figure out all this time why that boy mouth so big.
After the original incident with his father, King took to Instagram to air out anything else he had to say via IG stories. Unfortunately, these posts are now deleted, but when they were up, King said, I stand on business. Business don't give a F who you are. I don't give a F who you are. MF can't play with me in my face, not going for the I'm a grown A man now. If I'm a mistake, say that. Stop making the world think you F with me when you don't. Y'all be faking an image for the internet and it ain't me. Under the Instagram comments of the Shade Room, there was a mixture of positive and negative responses. Most of the people in the comments shared the same sentiment as D.L. Hughley and Charleston White. But there were others who sympathized with King and even saw this dispute as a cry for help. Now, about a month ago, King spoke with comedian Funny Marco for his Open Thoughts interview series, where he addressed his family life. During the conversation, King revealed that he lived with his grandmother for most of his upbringing, even during the filming of The Family Hustle. King said that he would get a call saying the producers needed him for filming. He would go to his parents' home for filming, but right after, when the cameras cut off, he'd be right back at his grandmother's. In the same interview, King also explained what it means for him to stand on business. He said many people confuse standing on business with being a thug or gangster, but to him, it actually means standing on principle and respect. Joining me is our very own borderline analyst, Danielle Miller, to dive in on this conversation. Danielle, I know you've been seeing the headlines. I know you've been seeing this story run crazy. I want to dive in. What's your reaction to this? We have D.L. Hughley reacting to it. Of course, we have people reacting to it as well. What are your thoughts on it? Who do you think is responsible in this situation?
I'm trying to figure out why King won't be from the hood so bad. Like, I'm really trying to figure out why is his desire in life is to be associated with the trenches. Like, that was the first thing that came to my mind. And then the second thing is, in this situation, I'm never going to critique, I try my hardest not to critique parenting skills. Reason being is because I'm not a parent as yet. And I know how difficult it can be raising kids, especially when you're in an environment that you're not used to. Let's be real, T.I. and Tiny, they didn't come from money. So right now they're just trying to really give their kids the best life that they possibly can and try to balance that out. But I also think in this situation, I don't know, I haven't seen the other kids act up like this. So I think King is just an example of a child that needs just a little bit more care and attention, and where you have to change your parenting with them as opposed to the other kids. So those are just the thoughts that ran through my mind.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, when I first saw the video, it definitely took me aback because Danielle, never would I ever talk to my mom like that in private or in public, regardless of how upset she makes me, because my head would be on the floor immediately. But then I watched the interview with King and Funny Marco, and it gave me a different perspective on King. I didn't see him as because even he talked about, when I say standing on business, I'm not trying to be hood, I'm not trying to be from the hood, I'm just saying I stand on principle and, make sure that I get respect and all these things. So while I don't agree with his approach, I do agree with you that it just seems like he didn't get the love that he needed, because not every kid is the same, not every parenting style is gonna be the same for every kid. But for me, yeah, I also felt like he just didn't get the love that he needed from his parents, or he may have wanted from his parents, that he may found in a hood environment. Because I'll give my thoughts on the hood. Every time I see the hood, I don't think of it's always the trenches and it's, people say ghetto and like all these things, like there is a sense of community that can be found in the hood where, people love on you in that space. And it may not be the right things all the time, but sometimes when I go, visit family or whatever the case in the hood, like there's a sense of like, wow, like these people really love each other. These people really look out, for one another. So I think he probably found a sense of community there that he felt wasn't in his home. But I want to read a couple of the comments because Danielle, we know comments. We get them here all the time, and people are going to always have something to say. Let me read some of these comments. One comment says, T.I. and Tiny Son wanting to be from the hood is so crazy to me because people like me would have loved to grow up behind a gated community with a silver spoon in our mouths. Another user said, whatever going on with King, T.I. and Tiny Son ain't even funny anymore. It's a cry for help at this point. He already admitted that his grandma raised him, not T.I. and Tiny. He said they would call him to come to the house to film their show. Lastly, another user said, another huge issue Black families are facing and is only going to get worse is as we gain upward mobility, we have even more identity crisis. Look at T.I. and Tiny Son. We literally watched this boy grow up and now he wants to be something that he isn't. A correlation that I see, Danielle, and I want to get your thoughts on is like, people are saying like, oh, because he grew up in a gated community or grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth, that like he should be good. He should be, like everything should be good for him because you have money. Everything should be good because you have more access to things than other people do. What are your thoughts on that? Because personally for me, I see adults with money that are unhappy.
Yeah, I was just about to say that just because you have money doesn't mean that the space that you're in, that you've created, is truly happy. We're only from the outside looking in. And I will say this, whatever that, I can't remember which tweet it was, but it is a cry for help because there's something internally brewing inside of him that is causing him to lash out. This is like, that was a public event. That was like the Falcons game. And they were like having the 50th anniversary of hip hop. And it literally started off as a joke. And then he just got really upset. And this isn't the first time that we've seen him got emotionally upset. On the show, it was the same thing. And T.I. was telling Tiny, don't coddle him, don't cradle him, let him be, let him take his chafing. But when you see a child, he was asking to go by his grandmother's house. And in the video, T.I. and Tiny said, that's where you wanted to go, so we let you go. When a child doesn't want to stay inside of the house, something is going on. Something is going on there. I don't know what it is, but it's something that he did not want to deal with. That's why he used to ask to go by his grandmother's house. And I think all in all, what needs to happen with this family is, because it's one thing to lash out. Let's be honest. About, let's say, I want to say about 50 to 40% maybe of persons have lashed out at a parent before and then got their teeth knocked out and then you come back to reality. But you did that in private. You did not do that in public. So the fact that he did that in public, in that kind of space, with his father's peers around, that says that there is something internally brewing inside of him that he just, it wants to come out. So I think they need to go to counseling. They need to spend some money and they need to take themselves and King to counseling and figure it out.
Do you, and I have another question, because this isn't the only situation we've seen. We've seen the situation with Romeo and Master P that played out online. Even Dio, I don't think Dio Hughley and his daughter played out online, but I remember there being, a reconciliation of their relationship. Do you think there's a generational difference? Do you think that friction is being caused by the generational difference? Because when we do see a King lashing out on social media, taking it to social media, doing things in the public eye, Romeo and Master P going back and forth on social media, do you think a lot of this friction is because of that generational difference where now we do have social media? Now people want to, put it all out, air things out. I want to, tell it how it is. I want to keep it real. I want to show my audience everything. Do you think that has something to do with what we're seeing play out?
I think it is a generational difference. And I also think it is the fact that we are talking about people who didn't come from wealth. So it isn't like they've seen generations before them parent their kids with wealth. What we think is vital to us is being able to give our kids everything materialistically that we didn't have. A lot of people don't understand that time is worth more than money. So you'll have a family, like you said before, in the hood, they have a community aspect, and you have some of their kids who grow up and they go to college and they thrive because their parents couldn't give them everything. Sometimes their parents couldn't give them a meal, but they gave them time. They gave them attention. And that's what translates. So for Ti and Master P, for them it might have been like, okay, I'm gonna give you money. Because let's be honest, I'm gonna give you things, I'm gonna make sure you're straight, I'm gonna make sure that you have a good life, but I can't give you time as much as I would like to, because let's be honest, they're out there working. So I think that's for me, that's what I'm looking at. I think their kids wanted more time, and because they didn't feel that time and that affection what they're now going through in life is a disconnect emotionally with their parents, where they feel like they can't understand. And let me just say this too before I forget. Charleston White, I'm not egging him on either. Charleston White, you come for my child last year. Don't come to me now telling me, oh, I should have whooped my. No. Don't do that, because I'll fight you. Like, that's how I feel with the Charleston White situation. Don't do that with people, kids. You came after that man child last year very viciously, and now you still calling him out. Leave people children alone. Go deal with Ti. Go call Ti and deal with him. Go to his house since you're so big and bad. Go there.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Every time I see Charleston White, this one is just like, okay, I don't, on to the next. So let me ask you this, Danielle, because with the Master P, when Master P and Romeo was going back and forth, there was like a sense of like people, I want to see them just like reconcile things, be able to come to terms. Since it happened in the public eye, now we want to kind of see things close out. What would you want to see after all this debacle?
For King to calm down. I don't care how y'all fix your family problems. Y'all could go to counseling behind closed doors. It don't matter to me. But we've seen King continuously, it's been escalating at this point. And I just want him to come to a place where he's leveled and he's good emotionally, and his parents be able to give him that. So that's what I really want to see, because it's obvious this kid has some internal issues that he is battling, and it's important for them to identify where it is coming from. And I think Ti and Tiny need to acknowledge that and not just think of him as just some help. At least try. Now, if you get him help and the help Cillian, he's an adult. Wash your hands off of that. Go on with your business. You tried, but yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, same thing. Like even looking at Charleston White and kind of like pushing the comments, like even seeing people like talk about King and like all these negative comments that are coming in, like obviously, like you said, something is going on, whether it's emotionally, mentally, whatever the case is. And I do hope that as a family, they seek the help that they do need to reconcile that and hopefully just come together, because man, we talk about it all the time. The Black family structure is so important. And that's husband, wife, that's dad, kid, that's all the dynamics of the Black family structure. So I do hope that they are able to sit down with somebody to figure it out. So I'm not for the all the jokes and stuff. It's just like this is a serious matter. This is happening in everyday homes. But Danielle, I want to end on a lighter note, because I see the beautiful view behind you. And I always introduce you as our borderline analyst. So I'm actually going to go take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, Danielle, I am handing it over to you to give us some updates of what's happening across the borderline in the Bahamas. So we'll be right back right after this. For Comedy Hype News, I'm just kidding. But I do have a special announcement. The Comedy Hype News Show is now looking for an analyst to join me right here on the show. That's right, there's an opportunity for your tush to be in one of these seats. But before you get too excited, here are a few requirements. You must be Atlanta-based, over the age of 21, so sorry to all my young babies. And you gotta know how to stand 10 toes down on your opinion. Now, technically we'll be sitting down, but you get my point. 10 toes down, not 9, not 8, but 10. Auditions take place November 30th through December 1st right here in Atlanta, Georgia. So click the link below or go to Hype Plus TV /talent search. Hope to see you in a chair near me. For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
As Symphony mentioned before our commercial break, I am Danielle Miller, your borderline analyst, and we are here in the beautiful islands of the Bahamas, and we have something very special going on, and we have a special guest to let you know exactly what we have going on. And I want to build up the anticipation, but it's one word. Well, I think it's 2 words. Burna Boy. Coming here to the Bahamas in concert December 16th, and we have one of the event hosts to talk about this with us today, and she is Kendanique. Hey, Kendanique.
Well, hi, how are you? How's everything?
I'm good. God, they're gonna think everybody in the Bahamas have blonde bald heads, like walking around every woman.
Sweetie, this is indeed the cut of the future, okay?
Thank you so much for joining us here on Comedy Hype and our Bottom Line segment. And I want to dive right into it. I know the Burna Boy concert is not just a concert, it is a festival by Spilligate. And I want you to give us a bit more about what will be going on with this festival and what we intend to see, especially for our international guests that will be coming in or interested coming in.
Well, interested and are coming in. They're interested. They're coming in. We have so much going on. It's a plethora of entertainment. Burna Boy, of course, being the headliner. When you say that you're coming to the Bahamas, you're not just coming to one particular island. It's a chain of islands. It's 700 islands under the most magnificent sun you'd ever want to think of. It's tranquil waters. It's good people. It's good food. It's good. It's a good time. And it's best of all, rake and scrape. So it's going to be an entire festival. It's entertainers, it's Burna Boy, it's family, it's fun, but this is some adult fun. Adult action right here for Burna Boy. It's going to be a good time. You know, in the islands of the Bahamas, we have this saying, come here, live here, stay here, you with us. So we're going to make everybody feel like as if they were home. You mentioned about being in a particular area in your earlier commentary, right? In the Bahamas, everybody is family, everybody is good, everybody is at home. So we want everybody to come over, enjoy the tropical island, have some kang salad, have some fried fish, enjoy Burna Boy on the sand, enjoy yourself. And when we see you coming through, we want to let you know, welcome to the islands of the Bahamas. The Bahamas is where it's at. If Burna Boy is turning down Dubai, that should tell you what the Bahamas has to offer.
Wow, that's a strong case in point. And I know you spoke about this being adult fun, and then you mentioned rake and scrape. And I want you to tell us a little bit more about the down home experience that they will have, because people don't know what rake and scrape is. And I want you to tell them what rake and scrape is, and if they can expect to hear rake and scrape all through the concert, or will we hear a mixture of the Bahamian music world?
We will hear a mixture of the Bahamian entertainers. Now, when I say rake and scrape is the central point, the music of the islands of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. It is the goatskin drum, it is the whistle, it is the cowbell, it is the scrape, it is the konkalaka. That is the music of the Bahamas. Now, you're going to hear a mixture of music. We can rake and scrape anything. There are songs that we have done covers to, but when you think of rake and scrape, you're thinking about slave instruments that we have taken and indoctrinated into a system of making our very own music. It is rake and scrape. It is the music of the islands of the Bahamas. It's when you're walking through the airport or you're coming off the cruise ship and you feel that you hear a bass drum, you hear that tom-tom, you hear that music lick off. And that man, listen, we home in the Bahamas. That's what rake and scrape is. Let me see is there a song that I know? Maybe some people know it. All the flowers, all the flowers, all the flowers gone. Let's see. You hear the rhythm? You hear the music? Now imagine a goatskin drum. Imagine a whistle to that. Imagine a scraper. Just envision yourself with close your eyes for me, if you will, and picture it. The beautiful sun, the turquoise water. If it ain't blue, baby, it ain't the Bahamas. And you have that good old-fashioned music, raking and scraping, and you see your friends on the sideline having some good comfort, some good fish, just some good coconut water. Of course, add the gin, some Bahamian beers, some good old-time bread, fresh out of the oven. That's what we're bringing. That's what we're bringing the people. We want to have that experience. The product of the Bahamas, of course, is the people. The people make the Bahamas different. You can get sun, sand, and sea anywhere, but you can never get it like it is in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Now, I want to chime in really quick, Danielle, because this sounds like a good time. I don't have a low-cut blonde, but I may consider at least dyeing the tips of my locks blonde so I can be in this because it sounds like a great time. I want to ask, because when I think about like having Danielle on the show and the pride that she has in the Bahamas, you know, Burna Boy being from Nigeria and the pride that he has from where he is, myself, I love being a black woman in the pride that I have in that. How important do you think it is for like all that to be immersed in one festival in the Bahamas?
Well, let me tell you, I went to HBCU. I went to Clark Atlanta University. I pledged Delta Sigma Theta. I am black, 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 black. You see it. So you know how it is, right? And of course, my major was mass communications, public relations. And I want you to know, going to an HBCU made me realize how prideful I am when I talk about the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Because see, people have had the idea at that particular time that we lived in huts. No, baby, we don't live in huts. We live in regular houses with air conditioning, with running inside water. We don't run around and pick chickens up off the ground and pluck the heads off and eat them wild. No, we don't do that. But when I talk about the Bahamas and when I talk about having a good time, it's the people that make you feel at home. I was able to live. I lived in the dorms for a very long time, and before I moved out to Embarcadero College Park. Okay, and so of course we weren't supposed to have crock pots. We weren't supposed to have food. But baby, I was cooking that macaroni and cheese in my dorm room. I was making that curry chicken and white rice, baby. I was frying them plantain. I made everybody feel at home. Sunday, everybody came to my room and we had something to eat. Don't tell my parents because they thought I was taking the money and doing something else with it. But I was feeding my floor, all right? Fourth floor. But being in the Bahamas in the sense of pride, and him being an African brother, a brother of the soil, where the belly of civilization comes from, it gives you a dignified feeling, because you can talk about culture, but there's nothing richer than African culture. And whether you believe it or not, the drumbeat of our civilization, the heartbeat of our civilization begins with the drum. You listen to Burna Boy songs, you hear the bass line, you feel the drums. So I want people to think about the Bahamas as being Mother Earth, Mother Africa 2.0, because we're here and we have a good time. You know, we're able to reach out and connect with someone. We are a very, very touchy-feely set of people. We touch, we talk, we laugh. We walk into a building, and it's not only during the Christmas time or festive seasons. Hey, baby, how you doing, honey? We touch in. We love to touch. We don't take anything wrong by it, but that's just our innate nature. You know, we are a good people, and we want everyone to come out and have a good time. And even if you come to New Providence, you can visit Freeport, you can visit Cat Island, Long Island, Eleuthera, Exuma, and Nagua. There are 700 islands under the sun. Where you gonna go next year? Where you gonna visit? Come to the Bahamas. The Bahamas, baby.
I want to make sure get this very clear, because the concert will be taking place on the island of New Providence. I want to also make very clear that the company that is doing the sound and the staging, they are certified internationally. The stage, to my understanding, is going to be huge. They've been responsible for a lot of setups in the mega hotels here and mega concerts that have been here in the Bahamas. So you can expect to see a show. But before we head out, Kentanique, I want you to tell us where we can get tickets for this event. Also, where the event will be held as well.
So it all happens on December 16th, and you can get your tickets. We are on Facebook, we are Instagram, we're TikTok, we are everywhere. Make sure and log on. We are open, of course, at the Kendall G.L. Isaac Stadium for persons to purchase their tickets. The tickets have already started to go on sale. So everybody join in and do what has to happen. It's www.foreigncurrencypromotions.com. You got it? Foreigncurrenciespromotion.com.
Thank you so much, Kentanique. And I know I can't wait to attend the concert. Shiloh, I think that's what it is. That's the only line I know. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you again, Danielle, for joining me in on this topic. And also thank you for letting us know what's happening across the borderline in the Bahamas. Now, in regards to this T.I. and King and Tiny situation, honestly and truly, I do wish the best for T.I., Tiny, as well as King, because I don't want to see any family, but especially in the Black community, go up against one another, especially when it's in the public eye. But hey, those are just my thoughts. I love to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts about D.L. Hughley responding to T.I. and King and Tiny back and forth? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.